wants to be a millionaire?
Ronald Biggs was one of the gang who carried out the Great What robbery of 1963. No one talks about a great automobile robbery or a bus or a plane robbery. It's bloody difficult to rob a plane, I'd imagine. It'd be the Great Train robbery. I mean, you'd have to bring your parachutes on board, and it's too much. How would you even... What would you get off a plane anyway? You're going to rob the luggage compartment? That would be very... Never mind. You could rob a plane on tarmac. A type of folk music of black American origin is called the what? The reds, the blues, the greens, or the whites. I don't think anyone's ever sung the reds, greens, or whites, but people do sing the blues.
No problems there, it's correct. Here's question number 3. It's worth $300.
As it should be. 300 virtual dollars. Greco-Roman is a form of which sport? A. Swimming, B. Surfing, C. Weightlifting, D. Wrestling. I've heard of Greco-Roman wrestling, so I'm pretty sure it's that. There you go.
That's the right answer. It's going well so far.
Because it's, Greek-Roman style wrestling, the kind they have at the Olympics.
Remember, a wrong answer here and you will leave with nothing. I'm sure that won't happen. Question number 4.
Or do they? They have professional wrestling at the Olympics. Well, no, it's not professional, because... Never mind. What industry would you be in if you won a Grammy Award? I'll just skip it. Music. It's music. You win Grammy Awards for music.
No problems there. It's correct. Get the next question correct and you'll leave with at least $1,000. Good luck. Here comes question number 5.
Good for me. Don't know what good it is that I'll leave with that. Oh well. Which famous film comedy duo starred in The Battle of the Century in 1927? Oh dear. We're talking about pop culture that wasn't even... okay. Never mind. 1927 is not that close to 2004, except maybe on a geologic timescale. But no, I should know this, obviously. One of the last great silent films. Okay, well there's your hint. It was silent, and Abbott and Costello, I believe, were most popular a little bit later, throughout the 30s and 40s. They may have been in the 20s. I don't think it was the two Ronnies. I'll say it was Laurel and Hardy. Ah, goody.
Very good, no problem at all.
Not familiar with it at all. I've not seen The Battle of the Century. I guess I'll have to now. I've got Wings over there on Blu-ray. I've got to go see that sometime soon.
It could double your money to $2,000.
It's a similarly old movie. The first Academy Award winner for Best Picture.
Which of these authors is not famous for writing children's books? J.K. Rowling, Enid Blyton, Paul Jennings, Michael Crichton.
I thought it was Crichton. Oh well. J.K. Rowling is famous for writing the Harry Potter series, which could be called children's books towards the start. Enid Blyton wrote books for children that were also sort of poetry ones. Paul Jennings I'm familiar with roughly. I think I have some Paul Jennings books. We'll say it was D. Michael, what's his name?
Are you happy for...
Yes, I'm sure it's my final answer. Come on.
Of course it is. That's the right answer.
Yeah, of course it is. You would know, Eddie. You've probably read a Michael Crichton book. I think you might write crime
Here
or
comes
something.
A question. 7 out of a possible 15. It's worth $4,000.
Sounds like a crime writer's pen name. Crime, Crichton, Crikey. Crime.
What type of animal is Australia's bilby? Rodent, bird, fish, marsupial.
Oh, bilbies are cute little marsupials, and you know that, and I know that. Unless it's a trick question and they're actually a rodent. But no.
Yes, that's the right answer.
Even marsupials can be rodents. Look at the Antechinus. It's a marsupial rodent.
Okay.
Actually, I suppose it's not. I
choose
think
the
it's just a
right answer to the
marsupial,
next
but it's like a
question,
rodent.
You can double your money to $8,000. Let's have a look at question 8 of 15.
So the yellow bar shows what we've
What
already
country
won.
had Muslim
Oh, well.
rulers called Moguls? Spain, India, Egypt, Turkey.
Oh dear. Didn't realise that's what the word mogul came from. So that's not good. Oh wait, yes I do. But it would have an H in it. Like mogul. Muslim rulers that were moguls. Was it Spain or Turkey, or was it India? I think it was. What did... Alright, let's think here. India's had kings and all sorts of things. Spain's had kings. Egypt had pharaohs and kings. Turkey had hussars. Is that the word? And we'll say it was Mughal. Now it sounds Indian. We'll go India. Yes, I'm sure. Lock it in. Why would I change my mind now? I can't read your body language or anything. Oh, good, it was. Yes. Well, that's the only reason to be scared off by his intimidation. Are you sure? You've got to think. Well, is he just messing with me? But it doesn't work in a DVD game. It's just an extra step. Yes, let's get $16,000. That would be nice.
Which US city is home to the famed Mormon Tabernacle Choir? Salt Lake City, Atlantic, Kansas, New York.
The famed Mormon Tabernacle Choir. Okay. Right. I don't know much about Atlantic City. I don't think New York has a famed Mormon Tabernacle Choir. I don't think Kansas would have a Mormon Tabernacle Choir. Salt Lake City's in Utah, that's right. Utah's where the Mormons are. It's Salt Lake City. Utah's where the Mormons are. Good thing to remember. Good. Okay. Water.
Okay, this is where the drops start to get steeper. Get the next question wrong and you lose $15,000. Get it right and you win $32,000 guaranteed.
I don't lose or win anything, actually. And even if this wasn't virtual.
In March 2001, where did Muslim fundamentalists destroy 2 giant statues of Buddha? Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan.
Okay. This is a hard one. Because even by 2004, all major events of 2001 were dwarfed by the September 11 attacks. So, but I remember, I hardly remember that happening. I hardly remember 9/11. I was 4, so, I distinctly remember it on TV, but not like much. Just, hey, that was a thing that happened. Oh, yeah. Anyway, that's about 9/11, not about the 2 giant statues of Buddha that were destroyed. I'll go out on a limb and say that it happened in Pakistan. It was Afghanistan.
So you made the wrong choice. That's incorrect.
I was close. And he didn't even give me an "are you sure?"
No. If you got that one correct, it would have guaranteed you $32,000. Instead, you finish with just $1,000.
Yeah, so that would be nice, wouldn't it? Shall we give it another go? I mean, this hasn't taken me long, and the night is young. Although I'd like to record a bunch of other games tonight, but why not, eh? Why not give it another try? Let's give it another go. Wish me luck, folks.
So you fancy another go at winning the million? Okay,
Well, don't bother,
best
it's
of luck.
pre-recorded,
Let's
so
play.
don't wish me luck, but let's hope I am lucky.
Okay, for $100, here's question number 1.
Lucky and skillful and knowledgeable. Jumbuck is a colloquialism for which animal? Well, once a jolly swagman camped by a billabong, under the shade of a coolabah tree, and he stuffed a jumbuck in his tucker bag. And if a jumbuck were a kangaroo, wild horse, or buffalo, you'd think, what? Because maybe you could stuff a kangaroo in your bag. I don't know what you'd do. Admittedly, kangaroo is delicious, but no, a jumbuck is a young sheep.
That's correct. Well played.
Or is it even a young one? It might just be a male sheep. I think it's a young male sheep. Either way, it's a small sheep, small enough to stuff into a tucker bag. We assume, I don't know how big a tucker bag is. Oh well. Which Australian state capital is closest to the Great Barrier Reef? The Great Barrier Reef's in Queensland, so it's obviously closest to Brisbane.
That's correct. Well played.
Thank you. That was really easy.
Here's question number 3. It's worth $300.
But is it really in Queensland? I suppose it's off Queensland. Although the state owns that bit of the coast, you know. It's the thing about countries. You're still in Australia even if you're 20 kilometres off Australia because that bit of the water is whatever. Otherwise, every time you went to the beach, you'd need a passport or something strange. What part of the body is treated to a pedicure? Well, pedi is all about your feet. So, there you go. Feet.
Nice one. It's the correct answer. Remember,
Yet it gets confusing when you think about paediatricians and podiatrists. I used to get that one confused all the time. Because a paediatrician's actually for children, from the other pedi meaning, and the podiatrist is for whatever. A popular tourist mecca is the Pacific French dependency of New what? New Zealand is not a Pacific French dependency. New Ireland does not exist. New Guinea is north of Australia and is connected to... Well, it's Papua New... It's confusing. There's Papua New Guinea and there's West Papua, which isn't even called New Guinea, but... Oh, no, it's New Caledonia. They're French.
That's correct.
Well, they're New Caledonian. They're owned by the French. As of 2020.
Get the next question correct and you'll leave with at least $1,000. Good luck. Here comes question number 5.
What is controversially mined at Jabiluka in the Northern Territory? A. Copper. B. Bauxite. C. Uranium. D. Iron ore. There would be nothing controversial about mining copper, bauxite or iron ore because, I mean, it's just copper and iron and bauxite's a metal too. So obviously the trick is controversially. It's the uranium mine in the Northern Territory. We mine uranium, we don't do much with it. Let's not get political.
Congratulations, that's the right answer.
Or we do something with it, we sell it. There we go.
You've reached the first milestone, that's $1,000. Have a look at question 6. It could double your money to $2,000.
An iron or copper mine could be controversial if it were in, you know,
Which pop
a spot that wasn't
and
supposed to be
actress
mined.
became the new face of the
Anyway.
clothing company Gap in July 2003? Kylie Minogue, Madonna, Cher, York.
I have a feeling I had this question before. I haven't watched my videos recently, and can't remember if it was Kylie Minogue or Madonna, but let's have a think about this. So, it would not be Cher. Cher is too old to be the face of a clothing company. Sorry, Cher. Björk is too strange to be the face of a clothing company. It's Kylie Minogue or Madonna. Gap's an American company. Madonna's American. Kylie Minogue's Australian. The game's got an Australian bias. But it has to be Madonna.
Very good, no problem at all.
Yeah, no problem. I had some problem, actually. Because July 2003 was a long time ago. It's older than Ratchet and Clank 3. Come on.
7 out of a possible 15. It's worth $4,000. Good luck.
What was happening in July 2003? What was the game in 2003? I can think of 2002 and 4.
A famous novel by Englishman Thomas Hardy is Tess of the Whom. Baskervilles, Mandervilles, D'Urbervilles, Somervilles.
Ah. Okay. Let's see what I've gained through pop cultural osmosis. I've heard of these things. Baskervilles and D'Urbervilles stand out to me. Tess of the Baskervilles, Tess of the D'Urbervilles. Ah, no. There's definitely a books with Baskervilles and D'Urbervilles in the titles. Books or plays or something. But I'm going to guess it was D'Urbervilles. Maybe I should have used the 50-50. Ah, good.
Well played. You're absolutely right.
Thank you, I feel good. I'm going to clap for myself. Yay! I can go read that. That's the good thing about old books. They're all free on the internet.
If you choose the right answer to the next question, you can double your money to $8,000. Let's have a look at question
Funnily
8
enough,
of 15.
I won't interrupt Eddie. I'll tell you later. Tell you later. Ugh.
Assassinated in November 1995, Yitzhak Rabin was Prime Minister of which country? Sweden, Israel, Iran, Pakistan.
Huh. Okay. I had no idea that Yitzhak Rabin was assassinated in November 1995. I've never heard of the man. I'm going to assume he was not the Prime Minister of Sweden. That is not a very Swedish-sounding name. There's always tension in Israel. And Iran and Pakistan, but more so Israel, I'd say. Yitzhak Rabin, 1995. I could Google it, but that would be cheating, so I won't. I'll use the 50-50 and hope that one of the answers left is Sweden. I won't tell Eddie that.
Okay, let's try and make things a little easier for you. Computer, please take away 2 random wrong answers.
Thank you, computer. Yitzhak Rabin had better have been the Prime Minister of Israel. Okay, good.
Well played. You're absolutely right.
Thank you. Yeah, well, there you go.
The jumps are starting to get a lot bigger now.
Yes.
Here is question 9
the
for
jumps.
possible $16,000.
More stress, more intense music.
Which world-famous horse race was won by Make-Be Diva in 2003?
Make-Be?
Kentucky Derby, Melbourne Cup, Epsom Derby, Grand National.
How dare you mispronounce Make-Be Diva? Everyone knows about Make-Be Diva. Make-Be Diva won the Melbourne Cup, I hope. Make-Be Diva won a lot of things. There we go.
Of course it is. That's the right answer.
I think my auntie... Jeez, I was probably there watching it with my auntie. She was into that sort of thing.
Okay,
Not so much horse racing, but
where the
AFL.
drops start to get steeper.
What does that have to do with
Get the
anything?
next
I don't
question
know.
wrong
But
and you lose
when I think Make-Be Diva, it
$15,000.
reminds me of my
Get it right,
auntie
and you
and
win
being in Coogee and stuff.
$32,000 guaranteed.
Coogee was great. Had blueberry muffins. Anyway, enough about Coogee.
South African novelist Alan Paton wrote 1948's Cry the Beloved What? Nation, country, land, people.
South African novelist Alan Paton. Cry the beloved nation, cry the beloved country, cry the beloved land, cry the beloved people. Land doesn't sound as good in that. Cry the beloved nation, cry the beloved country, cry the beloved people. People's also an outlier here. All these other ones are about the land, and that's the people, so I have a feeling it's not the people. Cry the beloved country, 2 C's, they sound good. Cry the beloved nation, it's never an A. Unless it is. Sometimes the answer is A. But let's assume it was Cry the beloved country. Or you know what? Let's phone a friend. If I can get the... There we go. Or what do the audience think? Maybe the audience knows something. They were around in 2003. Let's watch the audience clip. They get to press buttons.
Okay, you'd like to ask the audience. Audience, have a look at the options. Ready? Okay, vote now.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, it was B or C. They are fairly certain. Okay. Leaning towards C by a 2% margin. Try the beloved land over country, they think. I still think country sounds better, but since South Africa Africa was divided into countries by people beyond Africa's control, so I think it's more about the land than the country. Ah, it was country. I knew it sounded better. Bugger it. I'm going to go to the toilet. That's annoying.
Oh no. If you'd got that one correct, it would have guaranteed you $32,000. Instead, you finish with just $32. Oh no. With just $2. 30. Oh no.
What would you have if you just caught a cod? The flu. No, and a cold and the flu are different. Caught a cod's a fish.
That's great. It's the right answer. Have a look at question number 2. It's worth $200.
Which of these pop singers has not appeared as a character in Neighbours? Oh, mate, why? Why Neighbours? That horrible... Ugh. I mean, maybe I shouldn't judge something I don't watch. But I know why I don't watch it, is that it's a soapy and it just won't end. It's just dramas about who's dating who. And alright. Oh, actually, this is really easy. It must be Britney Spears. Because Kylie Minogue, Natalie Imbruglia are Australian. Holly Valance, I don't remember. Must be Australian. At least it's an easy question. You've got to read
That's
the
the right
answers
answer.
first and know.
It's going well so far.
Right. No worries.
Here's question number 3. It's worth $300.
What is an Australian colloquialism meaning angry? Courtable. Or A, courtable. B, ropeable. C, stringable. D, wireable. Ropeable. He was positively ropeable.
That's the right answer.
Don't know why you could be so
It's going
angry
well
that
so
you'd
far.
be able to be a rope, but it is an expression. I really need to learn the etymology of that word. I have
Remember,
no
a wrong
idea
answer here,
how it
and
came
you
to
will
be.
leave with nothing. I'm sure that won't happen. Question number 4.
The ancient trade route linking China with the West was the what road? A, wool, B, silk, C, cotton, D, polyester. The polyester road's the one they have now, and that goes from Hong Kong to Sydney. Actually, I just made that up, but so much polyester in China. It was the Silk Road.
No problems there. It's correct.
Not to be confused with the other Silk Road, which was a dark web website where you could buy drugs, I
Get
think.
the next question correct, and you'll leave with at least
I
$1,000.
think.
Good luck.
Just
Here
reiterate.
comes question number
It was in the
5.
news once when it was busted. Pretty sure it was called the Silk Road. Which of these sports does not have the position of goalkeeper? A, curling. B, hockey. C, netball. D, soccer. Well, let's eliminate some things. Hockey's got a goalkeeper. It's a terrifying job where you wear a lot of armour. Netball technically has a goalkeeper. You've got a GK position on your jersey? Guernsey? Vest? Jersey. Yeah. I don't know. I've played netball at school. They, like, not as a professional thing, just in mandatory sport. They have a GK position. They have a goalkeeper. Soccer has a goalkeeper. Everyone knows that. Curling does not.
No
I should know
problems
that
there.
anyway, because
It's
curling's a sport played in pairs. How could you have a goalkeeper? You've got a broom person, a sweeper, and a
You've reached the
pusher,
first
I guess.
milestone.
Someone who
That's
pushes the thing.
$1,000. Have a look at question 6. It could double your money to $2,000.
Good. I think you can
What
play
was the
curling
former
in
name
more
of
than
cricket's
pairs too.
Pura
But,
Milk Cup? Sheffield Shield, Preston Plate, Manchester Medal, Rotherham Ribbon.
Okay. You know, the Sheffield Shield is the only answer here that I'm familiar with. Pura Milk Cup. That is not current sponsorship anymore. But this is interesting for me because when I met Ricky Ponting, I'll never forget that. He came to my school when I was in primary school. I would have been in year 3, year 2, 3, or 4, not sure. But he gave out merchandise then with Pura Milk all over it. But yeah, I met Ricky Ponting. That was cool. And now I feel uncertain. Isn't the Sheffield Shield a football thing? Alright, we'll say it was the Sheffield Shield and say it was temporarily the Pure Milk Cup. I don't know. Oh, I feel bad. I'm going to get it wrong and say Sheffield Shield, aren't I?
It's absolutely
Oh, it was the
correct.
Sheffield Shield.
Well done.
Oh, good. Okay, thankfully I think it's still called the Sheffield Shield now. It wasn't a Pure Milk Cup for long.
Here comes a question.
Maybe
7 out of
one
a
year.
possible 15.
And if that was
It's worth
2003 or
$4,000.
4,
Good luck.
7 years. Yeah, it must have been year 3, I guess.
The Falkland Islands are off the coast of which continent? Asia, North America, Africa, South America.
The Falkland Islands are off the coast of South America. There. No story to give you there.
Absolutely
They
spot
just
on,
are.
well done. Okay, if you choose the right answer to the next question, you can double your money to $8,000. Let's have a look at question
Yes,
8
I
from
know.
15.
I've heard so many times about how I could double my money.
In which ocean did the liner Titanic hit the iceberg and sink? Atlantic, Arctic, Indian,
Hit the iceberg,
Pacific.
he says. It hit the iceberg, you know. It hit an iceberg. It wasn't the iceberg. Anyway, it wasn't quite north enough to be the Arctic. It was the Atlantic Ocean.
Is
Yes, it's my final answer.
wonderful. It's the right answer.
Thanks.
The jumps are starting to get a lot bigger now. Here is question 9 for a possible $16,000.
Actually, I don't know where the line is between the Atlantic and the Arctic Oceans. I don't know where they split that.
A
The
gunner
globes
was
never really
found
give you
on
a good
which
idea.
mode of transport? Plane, ship, train, truck.
A gun whale? A gun whale. I was thinking plane initially. That sounds like a truck or train part. Which means I should probably ignore my instinct and that it's a ship part. Or you know what? Maybe I should phone a friend. Haven't done that yet.
Okay, let's phone a friend. Who do you think might be able to help you choose the right answer?
Nobody, Eddie, but I'm gonna try. We've got Patrick. He's got a big mustache. He knows a thing or two. Emily, she's a student. I haven't had much luck calling the students in this game. And Samuel, he's a carpenter who looks like Tony Abbott. We'll call Patrick.
It's between a couple. B looks favourite, but I wouldn't want to bet too much on it. Sorry, I can't be more certain.
I should have turned my volume up. I could hardly hear him, but I don't need the feedback going into the microphone. I think he said B, but he's not very sure. Alright, let's say it's B, the gun whale on the ship.
No problems there. That's the
Oh,
right
there you go.
answer.
Thank you, carpenter. No, he wasn't the carpenter. Thank you, unemployed man. Steve. What was your name? Oh, I didn't even remember. Sorry, mate.
Okay, this
You're
is
a good
where
help.
the drops start to get steeper. Get the next question
Yes,
wrong, and
yes,
you
the
lose
drops. Don't you have any other lines?
$15,000. Get it right, and you win $32,000 guaranteed.
Guaranteed? 32,000 guaranteed?
In which decade
Then I
did
can spend it
Australia
on a
begin its
Commodore.
campaign against polio?
29.99, you drive away.
1940s, 1930s, 1950s, 1960s.
In which decade did Australia begin its campaign against polio using the Salk vaccine? Well, there you go. If they had said Spanish flu, everyone's talking about it, that was, 1920. But no, polio was after. Was polio over 30s, 40s, 50s, or 60s? Bugger. I don't know. I've never experienced polio. and I haven't read the Wikipedia article on it, so in which decade? Polio. Salk. Salk sounds like a 50s man, but I don't know. Polio, the war. The war and polio. We'll say it was the 40s.
I'm sorry, you made
It was
right
the
choice. That's
50s!
incorrect.
Salk was a 50s name. Well, I'm sure the
That's
guy was
tough.
probably born in
One more
1900 or
right
so,
answer
but
and you would have had
there you go.
$52,000 guaranteed. Instead, you finished the game with just 1,000.
Oh no, as always happens, I haven't finished with more than 1,000 for a while, because I never walk away. Because I can't walk away, I've got to get to $1 million. That is the only goal here, to beat this game. Oh well, give it another go. Give it another go. What
So you
time is
fancy
it now?
another go at winning?
Alright, starting another run now. What is the capital city of France? Or France? Come on now, it's Paris. Or Paris, if you must.
Nice one. It's the correct answer.
Paris in English. You shouldn't try and pronounce a city name in another language if you're
Have a look
speaking.
at question number 2.
the other
It's
language,
worth
whatever.
$200.
I shouldn't tell you how you should or shouldn't pronounce things. I'm no expert on pronunciation, which is pronounced pronunciation. Anyway, what are used as targets in skeet shooting? Tin cans, wooden ducks, clay pigeons, helium balloons. Helium balloons would be entertaining, and Bob Munden was very good at that. But no, it's clay pigeons in skeet shooting.
Excellent. It's the right answer.
But if you want to look it up, Bob
Here's
Munden,
question number 3.
M-U-N-D-E-N,
It's
he was a
$300.
very fast shooter, the fastest that ever lived. He could shoot things. He can shoot balloons with a revolver so fast. Anyway, Midnight Oil lead singer Peter Garrett is president of the Australian What Foundation? Compensation, Conservation, Conversation, Conservative. Peter Garrett became a politician after Midnight Oil. He's famous for being very bald and dancing like a moron. It wouldn't be the Conservative Foundation, no. I have a feeling it must be the Conservation Foundation.
Excellent.
Of course.
It's the right answer.
Something, our beds are burning. How could he not be for conservation?
Remember, a wrong answer here, and you will
You know,
leave with
midnight,
nothing.
whatever.
Sure, that
Beds are
won't happen.
burning. Midnight Oil.
Question
It's a
number
song
4.
deeply ingrained in Australian culture. For now. Which of these is not a type of bird? A. Wren. B. Warbler. C. Winch. D. Woodpecker. Well, that'd be a winch. A finch is a bird, a winch is not. A winch
That's
is to
correct.
get your
Well
truck
played.
out of the mud in Spin Tyre's Mud Runner. Or Snow Runner. Snow Runner came out recently, I haven't got it, but I really like Mud Runner, and I'd recommend
Get the
that
next
game.
question correct, and you'll leave with at least $1,000. Good luck. Here comes
Or in
question
real
number
life too,
5.
you can winch things, you know. Or in Uncharted 4. In 2004, who dumped her long-standing boyfriend Ken for an Australian called Blaine? A. Barbie. No. B. Kylie Minogue. C. Holly Valance. D. Jordan. Barbie's the joke answer, because she has a boyfriend Ken, but she didn't dump him for a Blaine. Jordan, I'm not too familiar with. Kylie Minogue, everyone knows Kylie Minogue. Holly Valance, don't know, don't care. Which means it probably was Holly Valance or Jordan. But it's got to be Kylie Minogue somewhere, right?
Bad luck. You chose the wrong answer.
It was Barbie?
You're so
What?
close to reaching that first milestone, but instead you finished with nothing. Bad luck.
Oh, this must have been a short-term decision by Mattel to give Barbie a new boyfriend from Australia called Blaine, because I don't know. I'm not familiar with that being an event, and okay, but alright.